setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. It's a cloudy day. I don't know if we're going to get some rain or not, but maybe. Our subject matter today, and you're not going to like it, politics.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And we're back. So I bet you're trying to figure out why in the world is he bringing up politics? In my past podcasts, I've always done a podcast that's called Political Tuesday. And I stopped doing it because I got so fed up with politics. But today I thought I should come on. And I don't know if we're going to talk about politics or if we're going to talk about listening to politics and observing politics. Because what I'm observing right now is a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of hogwash. And I'm getting kind of tired of it. So that's why I'm doing this podcast today, because I'm sick and tired of the politics already. We started way too early, and there's way too many people out there in the political field. And I think it's about time that you and I put our foot down and stop this nonsense, because it is really, really a stupid situation that's going on out there. I don't know why the Democrats decided to have over 20 people to run for the presidency. And all of them are basically saying the same thing. Free this, free that. Hate Trump. Hate America. Give away this, give away that. Free education. Free money to certain ethnic groups. Gosh, that's a hard word. Especially this time of the morning. Thank God I had 1 cup of coffee. Maybe that will help. But you have these politicians saying a whole bunch of things, and then they say something totally different the next day. Whichever crowd that they're before, they're either saying something that they are contradicting themselves from the day before, or they're apologizing for something. I've never heard so many apologies in my life. But we have politicians that have been politicians way too long. If you look at Kamala Harris, former Attorney General of California, the worst Attorney General that we've ever had in California. I know I was there at that time and living there. And I know for a fact that what she did to the criminal justice system in California put us way, way behind the schedule. So you have these, I really have to tell you that they're dirty politicians. These individuals out there are saying one thing to one group and another thing to another group. I mean, look at Kamala Harris and Biden. Biden was scorned by Harris for his civil rights actions. She thought they were terrible. And then the very next day, especially on busing, then the very next day she says she's for busing. Makes no sense. And by the way, I want to tell you something. In her plan for America, she wants to have lower income people, minorities, etc., that are at the lower income level to be able to afford to purchase a home. Well, we have the same situation happen back when Bush was president and back when Clinton was president, they had this mighty goal to go out there and create these loans that could help individuals that were low income to be able to purchase a home. And that was a campaign promise made by Clinton and a campaign promise made by Bush both. And it turned out to be the biggest financial debacle in this nation's history, where people lost their homes because they could not afford their homes. They did not have the financial capacity to meet the payments on a month-to-month basis, because the loans that were given were lie loans, and they lied about their income and they lied about how they could pay for it, and people lost their homes, and it literally took a nosedive in our economy that affected every single one, not just here in the United States, but also worldwide, because people had invested in these loans, had purchased these bad loans. So that's what Kamala Harris is talking about right now. She wants to be able to have that same mechanism in place for people who cannot afford homes to be able to get homes with loans that they cannot afford to pay. So she's taking us right back into a situation where it would devastate the economy again. It was like she was asleep during that whole time when we had this problem going on. It's absolutely stupidity of what she is saying. But you've got all of these politicians, not just Harris, but all of the politicians, all these 20-plus politicians saying exactly the same thing and acting very stupid because they don't remember what history said. And I think that's where our problem lies, is that these politicians have not studied history and don't know anything about the economy, know nothing about how to create jobs, know nothing about how to run a business, know nothing about anything that has to do with money, except they know how to spend our tax money very well. And that's what they want to do. The message of all of these politicians are spend, 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 tax, tax, tax. And we're getting right back into the situation where if that happens, if a Democrat or one of these liberal politicians gets into office, we are going to have the exact same problem where there will be no further confidence in the economy by small business, and we're going to be put on hold. I remember when we were going through the 8 years of Obama and sitting in a Chamber of Commerce meeting in Orlando, Florida, and the statement was made by businesses, we are on hold because we don't know what Obama's going to do next that's going to affect our business. They were hit hard on providing medical for their employees and tax issues and everything else, that they said, we are on hold. America has been on hold ever since Obama got into office. And it was the truth, because I was on hold too. I was running a business at that time too. And we were on hold. We were not hiring. We were not expanding. We were not buying new equipment. We were not doing anything that stimulated the economy, because we didn't know what a liberal president was going to do to our business. And if you want to see that happen again, you will see it happen if a Democrat becomes president. And that is the scariest thing that we have at the moment, especially with the liberal politicians that are currently in Congress and currently in the Senate. They are trying to do their very best to attack small businesses, big businesses, any kind of business, because they don't feel that we're paying our fair share, even though that we're providing jobs and money is going into the tax coffers through payroll taxes, unemployment, everything. It's going in to the federal government. So they don't understand how this works and how higher taxes and higher regulations and more regulations affect businesses in our nation. And it even affects us even greater if you are in a liberal state, California, New York, those liberal states. So if you want to put the company, but if you want to put the government in the whole United States on hold again, Put in somebody that is so liberal that they will attack businesses every single day. And you talk about, and we've talked about this so many times, about how businesses during the Obama administration moved their majority of their business activities offshore. Because offshore they're not attacked, but onshore they are attacked by liberal politics. It's an issue that you and I have to be consistently worried about. I tell you, during those pause years, when we were doing nothing, it was a scary time. I talked to my clients all the time, and they were scared about... I had one company, a client that was a tool and die company, and he was literally afraid to buy more tool and die computers and equipment, automated equipment, because he didn't know what was going to happen. So if you want this type of mentality again, put in a liberal politician. Liberal politics does not work for an America where we thrive on productivity, where we thrive on independence, where we thrive on doing things within our companies and growing our companies and doing the best that we can to provide jobs in the communities where our businesses are at. So you think about that just a little bit, about the stupidity of politicians today. They are saying all the wrong things to America. They are pandering to ethnic groups. And the problem that I see it is that if you look at the liberal Democrats, they have literally forgotten about certain ethnic groups. If you're black, the Democrats have left you, because their focus now is on the illegal aliens down at the border. They don't care about you. They don't care about if you have a job. Even though your job performance and your job unemployment rates have gone down and you have more jobs in your communities, they don't care about that. Because they want you to be on the government roll. They want all Americans to be on the government roll. They want us to be dependent upon the government. And that is not how Americans are supposed to be. Each and every single one of us have the ability to go out and do what we want to do, because we are an independent nation and an independent people. So when you hear people pandering to you, run. I'm telling you, run the other way. Because what you're getting is nothing. You're absolutely getting nothing except dirty politics. So I don't care what party that you're a member of. I don't care. But I want you to think very carefully about what these politicians are telling you and whether or not if it makes any sense whatsoever. Remember, it's not what you want, it's what you need. And what we need as a nation is better leadership. People who are thinking for Americans and not thinking for their political power within their party. I left the Republican Party 3 years ago and became an independent because I was fed up that they had control and they did absolutely nothing for the United States. I was so fed up. And then the Democrats took control of Congress, and we're in the same situation again where Democrats are literally doing nothing for the American people. Nothing. And one of the issues that they need to be focused on is the immigration issue, but none of them will reach across the aisle and work on a bill that will help the immigration system. Not the immigrants, but the immigration system. Not the illegal immigrants or the illegal aliens, but for the American immigration system that we bring the brightest people into this United States. And that we're not bringing in drug traffickers, terrorists, and everything else that could be slipping through the borders. The other issue that I don't like is that we have a problem where politicians seem to have this hate for our law enforcement anymore. Look at the situation that happened down in Arizona, where the police officers were asked to leave by Starbucks because one individual in there felt uncomfortable having the police there. I tell you, when I have a police officer in the store that I'm at, or at the restaurant that I'm eating at, when I see a police officer there, I feel safe. And I'm very proud that they're there. And I'm proud of the duty and the stress that they have to go through in protecting me and protecting you. But someone wanted to make a political statement within Starbucks because they knew they could do it, because Starbucks has always made political statements. And it offended me as an American, and it offended the police. But I think that the most important thing is that it offended Americans all over. And not one single Democrat politician stood up and said, I support the Arizona police. Not one. That was a sigh. If you heard that, that's a sigh. It's because I hate talking about politics. But I feel sometimes I've got to do it because things have got to be said, that we have got to be thinking in our head about what we're doing to this nation. You and I are responsible for this nation. We are responsible for choosing the politicians that are supposed to be representing us, which they are not. And so we have taxation without representation. We're right back where we started from when this country was formed. And not one single politician wants to step up and say, listen, I'm listening to you and I will vote for how you feel, because you are the people that I'm representing. But instead what they do, they follow the party line. And whatever the party says, that's what they're going to do. It has nothing to do with you and me. Nothing. I tell you, in California where my office is, and I'm moving out my office. In fact, July will be the last time I have an office in California, because I've had it. Adam Schiff happens to be my congressman in my congressional district. Do you know how many times I have tried to approach him on so many different issues and I've gotten the same form letter back? He does not care about the constituents within his system unless they agree with him. I tell you, political Tuesdays, there's a lot of sighing going on for me. But I think that I've come to the point where politics is just dirty. A year and a half ago, I started turning off the news. No more CNN, no more MSNBC, no more Fox News, nothing. I turned it off. And so I searched around and found a internet newscast that only reports the news. No commentary, no analysis, no nothing. She just reports the news and I get 10 minutes of it daily. That's all I need. If I want to know anything else about politics, I will study it myself. But I stopped it. And do you know how much stress has come off my shoulders by not watching the political nonsense on the news? In fact, it's really not even news anymore, is it? In my book, I wrote a book last summer called Ethically Thinking, It's Not That Hard. And I have one chapter in there where I took their motto and I took their ethical, whatever you want to call it, and I analyzed it. And not one single thing on their ethics thing for journalists are they doing. They're no longer reporting the way they should be reporting. They're not reporting the news. Instead, they're reporting political nonsense. So that is the problem. And I saw it as a problem in myself because I was spending so much time watching the news that I was frustrated and angry every single day. And I said, enough of this. And I turned it off. And I've been doing it for over a year and a half, and I tell you, my life is so much better. Instead of listening to the political news, I now come and rant and rave with you. See how it changes? No, it doesn't change. It's very seldom now that I come on and talk about politics. But today I thought I had to do it because we're at the beginning of this political race for president, and I'm seeing nothing but political nonsense. And I hope that you're seeing it too. Open up your eyes, open up your ears. I want you to really listen to the nonsense that is being blabbered out there. That's a word my mom used to always use. Stop blabbering. Well, I wish I could tell the politicians, stop blabbering because you are idiots. You're not thinking about Americans. You're only thinking about your political power in your political party. Americans you've pushed to the wayside. So listen, America, that's enough for my Political Tuesday. I probably won't do another Political Tuesday until I get mad again. I used to do it every Tuesday, but I got so pissed off at myself and also the politicians that I said, okay, enough. If you have any questions, listen, let's end this Political Tuesday. If you have any questions or want to make any responses to me, you can text me at 818-252-5682, 818-252-5682. We have a texting system on our computer, and I get them and I respond to them. And you can also send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com. Everybody, start listing what's going on. Run away from the stupidity of politics. Don't listen to the lies and the blabbering that's happening. Be an American that thinks with common sense. Put the politics to the side. Think about the common sense of what is good for America and not what is political for America. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.